It's amazing how we speak to ourselves. I hope this story will help you become aware of some of the self-talk, the negative self-talk, the talk that can hold you back, that you might be committing, and also that you might be able to pick up with your kids. So it's a story about my son Eddie. We were swimming by the pool. I was poolside, he was in the water, and I basically said, Eddie, it's time to go. And he's like, come on, Dad, I want to stay longer. I said, Eddie, we made a deal. Do you remember when I told you that when we go swimming, when I say it's time to go, you say, okay, otherwise, next time when I want to take you, I'm going to think twice. He's like, come on, Dad. And he looked at me with those beautiful velvety eyes, black velvety eyes. And I said, oh, man, I remember thinking to myself, like, as parents, do we really know the answers all the time? Maybe it's better off. Maybe he's better off. Maybe I'm better off if we stay a little longer. So I said, you know what, Eddie? I'm going to make you a deal. If you can swim the width of the pool, not the shallow end to the deep end, but just shallow end to shallow end, the width of the pool, not only can we stay longer, but we will be the last people out of the water. In other words, I'm going to wait for the lifeguards to say, it's time to go, guys, it's dark. You could see he lit up like a Christmas tree. But at the same time, he's like, but Dad, I can't. I was like, you can't. So, the Abu Chakras, I don't know about other families, Eddie, but we don't say we can't. So he's like, I'll try. And I was like, yeah, that won't cut it either. And Eddie's actually the one doing the camera work. Remember what you said, Eddie?
I can and I will.
I can and I will is exactly right. He's almost 9. He'll be 9 in a few months. And this story is still alive today as much as it was back then. So I said, that's right, you can and you will. And he said it a couple times, a little louder, and then I got him pumped up, and I said, let's do this. So let me just tell you a little backstory is that he couldn't swim more than, come up for air more than twice in a row before having to stand up. So he didn't really have the endurance. And I remember when he got to the 3rd breath, and then the 4th breath, he turned and looked at me, and it was like, Dad, can you believe what I'm doing? And I didn't want to give him any positive reinforcement. I didn't want to give him any encouragement at all. My face went blank. Poker face. And because I didn't want to cheer him on, I didn't want to smile, I didn't want to say go for it, I didn't want to clap, no thumbs up, nothing. I wanted for him to be propelled from the inside out, not to have an outboard motor attached to him. And so he swam, and it took him about 17 breaths. He got to the other side, And I remember just when he got there, when he stopped, he hugged me. Dad, I love you. You gave me this beautiful big hug. I can still feel it today. Such a beautiful feeling. And like I said, this lesson still lives on today. We catch ourselves quite often, Eddie? Thinking I can't, or thinking we'll try, instead of thinking I can and I will. And I want you to be aware of your own communication, because you may be saying this to yourself. And you may notice that your children are saying this as like a reflexive first response to a challenge. Is I can't, or I can't do it, I'll never do it, or it's impossible, or it's too hard, or, that kind of thing. And, in life, we can't expect mountains to shrink, and we can't expect to, take the legs out from our obstacles, unless you're in mixed martial arts or something. But the secret is really not to shrink the obstacle. The secret is not to play small in the first place, right? I always say you can't live large if you play small, and we often are caught up in playing small, and I'm sure you can catch yourself doing that. So a better approach is to make sure that you're empowered, that you're growing as a person. So if you want to live large, you can't play small, and you just got to empower yourself so that obstacles shrink. So there's 2 ways that you can empower yourself and transform your life. One I like to call the inner game, and the second is the outer game. The inner game is changing mindset, changing perception, and the outer game is taking action. The best approach, of course, is to do both, is to approach it from the inner and from the outer. So I just want you to be aware of the way you're communicating internally, be aware of your reflexive responses when you're faced with challenges, and also pick up on your children. In 2003, I started writing children's books because I think personal development for kids is something that has a lot to be desired. And if we plant seeds early, we can help children grow and possibly nip things in the bud and prevent things from growing out of control and having to take adults all the way back to their childhood. And so if you like what you heard today, or if you have any ideas, just let me know, because I plan on turning these into kids' books. And if you want to know more, just check out some of my books, littlenate.com. Little.com. Little, Nate, Naite.com. All right, I'll post it in the link. But thanks for listening and hope this added some value to your life. Thanks for filming, Eddie.
Welcome, bye.
Bye.